I am Alan M. Cohn. I'm 82 years old. This is the year 2012, and I have Alzheimer's disease. That's the bad news. It's going to get worse as I tell you, but then I promise you it's going to get better. Because I am the only person that I know of who claims to have found an effective treatment for Alzheimer's disease, a way to stop and substantially reverse the disease even if you've had a radical brain shrinkage. And I have had this exact effect from this terrible and supposedly incurable disease. I'll start with a little background and my diagnosis. 10 years ago, at the age of 72, the exact age in which my father was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, I began to have a cognitive decline. If I drove my car, I couldn't find where I was going, nor could I find my way back home. And it got worse. If I took a walk, it would take me sometimes as long as an hour to find my way back home. I went to get a haircut, went to write a check. My hairdresser, who's also a barber, had to write the check for me because I realized I'd forgotten how to write. Things only got worse from then on. And about a year or two later, I went to my doctor, convinced that it wasn't just old age, and I miserably failed a cognitive written examination that he gave me. And at the same time, he was suspicious because he knew me as an intellectual, and I was far from that by that time. So he sent me to I believe a neuroradiologist, perhaps just a radiologist, I'm not sure, and the technicians took an MRI of my brain, and in accordance to the radiologist's report, I had already suffered a radical brain shrinkage to such an extent that those parts of the brain which do not shrink seemed abnormally large when compared to the rest of my shrunken brain. The diagnosis came in from him and from my family physician that I had probable Alzheimer's disease. That's as good a diagnosis as they're going to be able to give you without performing an autopsy. Because only by autopsy at this present time can they be absolutely sure that you have Alzheimer's. So, probable Alzheimer's disease. Shortly thereafter, I put myself in the care of my son-in-law, a physician specialist who knew a very good neurologist, and she put me on an acetylcholinesterase inhibitor called Razidine. It was then called Reminol, but we won't go into that. Razidine is a prescription drug which will give you anywhere from a few months to up to 2 years worth of mental clarity. She started me at 8 milligrams and moved me rapidly up to, well, not rapidly, but gradually up to 16 milligrams extended release of Razidine. And I began to recover my cognitive abilities, which she assured me could not last, the recovery could not last for more than 2 years. My father, I saw him die of that disease. He was a genius, and I saw him become an idiot, and I cried. And I resolved that Alzheimer's disease would not be in my obituary. Something else is going to get me, but it isn't going to be Alzheimer's disease.
What?